I told you in the last video I had to cook on this one a little bit, and I was in the kitchen, we cooked, I talked with you in the comments for a little bit, which I really enjoyed. If you guys ever want to theorize with me in the comments, please do so, because I love having conversations with you guys in the comments, I really mean that. But yeah, we cooked, we reflected, we theorized, and today I want to talk about the difference between red and yellow tape in the 21 Pilots universe. Now, in the very beginning, I always kind of thought that they were one and the same, like they were all banditos because they were wearing duct tape. It was just like a personal preference if they wanted red or yellow. But in the letter that Torchbearer writes to Clancy in the FPE event, he makes a clear distinction between red and yellow. He mentioned how he has support from both of them, insinuating that there is some sort of difference between the two. So of course, as a true clicky theorist, I did not rest until I had some sort of answer, which I'm going to share with you right now. To kick this video off, I want to talk about the yellow duct tape, because that is what we see first, and there's a lot of music videos about them. Throughout the entire era of Trench, we get a lot of music videos with banditos with yellow tape. At this point in time, we hadn't seen anybody wear red tape. That is for Clancy, which we'll get into later. Now, yellow tape symbolizes a bandito in the Trench universe. And basically what banditos are escapees from the city of Dima. They make camps on the continent of Trench outside of the city, hence bandito camps. And we don't see a lot of direct conflict between the yellow banditos and Dima. Their major role is just escaping Dima. The only time we ever see them actually in Dima is when they're trying to get other people out. For the most part, there's not really a lot of conflict. They just sneak people out and live in camps. Which leads me to believe that the people who wear yellow duct tape are simply escapees. They just want out of Dima, whether Dima is defeated or not. To support this idea even further, we have to look at the color yellow itself. Now, what the color yellow itself means in 21 Pilots lore could be an entire video on itself, but as for practicality, in the universe itself, bishops cannot see yellow. We know this from the Heavy Dirty Soul music video, where the bishop is swerving all over the road because he can't see the lines. Also, their little mishap with Skeld and Icy, but we'll get into that later. So because bishops cannot see the color yellow, these banditos wear yellow duct tape to cover themselves, to disguise themselves from the bishops. They do not want to be seen. Again, as I said, they just want to escape and help others escape. During the Trench era, there really isn't no direct conflict to defeat Dima. Most of the time, Clancy is just trying to get out of the city with the other banditos. Because the bishops cannot see yellow, it's often theorized that the banditos will cover with tape whatever they hold most dear, which I think is a really sweet theory. I don't know if that's true or not, but if we look at Torchy here, we can see that he's covering his heart and his Tyler tattoo, which I don't know, that's sweet to think about. But what's really important to note is the location of the people with the yellow duct tape. They don't live in Dima. They might go back to Dima, that's totally possible, but for the most part, they live in bandito camps outside of Dima. Now we're going to move on to Team Red, my personal favorite of the two. We did not get introduced to people who wear yellow duct tape until the Clancy era, and we see a lot of them in the Overcompensate music video. What's interesting to note about these guys is that they're still in Dima, and they don't really make any plans to escape Dima. They're taking classes from Clancy within Dima. They're not really making any attempt to escape, and we never see them in the bandito camps with the yellow duct tape. Most of the time when we see just red duct tape is strictly within Dima, and they're taking classes from Clancy. As Clancy has mentioned numerous times, his plan is to kill Dima from the inside out. And obviously this is what the little reds are doing, because they're within Dima and they're planning a rebellion within its own walls with Clancy. So the red duct tape might represent the actual people who are making waves and direct conflict with Dima to take it down. They're not trying to just escape Dima, they want to destroy Dima. Another thing to note about these guys is that there isn't a lot of variation within their duct tape placement. A lot of them just have the red Clancy stripes on the shoulder. The only time that they deviate from this rule was the FPE event, where we can see like examples of where to put your tape, and there was red tape in other places. But within actual music videos, a lot of the time it's where Clancy has his tape, and again, I think that signifies something. People with yellow duct tape might be trying to hide something, but I do believe that the red tape is trying to tell others something. Now, the first time we see Clancy with the red duct tape on the shoulders is actually the Jumpsuit music video, and the opening line of that is "Cover Me." As Clancy moves away from just trying to escape Dima and more into "I want to defeat Dima," that tape turns red. This might also signify the difference. Clancy was wearing yellow when he just wanted out, and now he's wearing red when he wants to destroy it. But the red tape on the shoulders might signify that these people are wanting covered. Like Clancy, they are saying "cover me." And the response they get is probably much like the Torchbearer when he told Clancy, "I'm covering you." Because they are rebels directly fighting Dima, they're looking for people to cover them, to watch their backs, because they are in this fight. But like the color yellow, there is some significance with the color red. Now, unlike yellow, the bishops can very well see the color red. I mean, that's the color they like most, that's the color of their robes, that's the colors associated with Blurryface. The bishops are well acquainted with the color red. So again, the red banditos, if that's what you want to call them, but the people with red tape do want to be seen. They are using the bishop colors. They are not trying to hide. And if we consider them the ones that are directly fighting, it makes sense that they do not want to be hidden. Unlike the people who wear the color yellow, who might be hiding things that are precious to them, red is very boldly sticking out and mocking the colors that the bishops use. Now, this might be in retaliation of when the bishops themselves mocked the bandito colors. As I mentioned before, the bishops might be colorblind. More specifically, they have the color blindness that doesn't let you see yellows and greens, which ironically enough is the colors of the album Trench. But what's interesting about this is that the people who cannot see yellow and green often see it as pink and blue. Pink and blue are the colors of Skeld and Icy. Skeld and Icy was a propaganda album to promote Dima and be like, hey, everything's chill over here. So the bishops may have accidentally used pink and blue when they were trying to go for green and yellow, like for Trench, but obviously because they're colorblind, they picked the wrong colors. So maybe as a response to that, the red banditos are using the color red to be like, hey, we can steal your colors too, and we actually did the right color this time. So in conclusion, red is more confrontational. They want to fight Dima. They are very direct in overthrowing Dima. Yellow is much more passive. They just want to escape. They do not want to be seen. They just want to live in camps. But it seems like they've been mingling with red, and they now too are joining the cause to overthrow Dima. This in particular makes me think of the FPE letters that we got before the Torchbearer one. There was a lot of back and forth between citizens of Dima and people wanting to join Clancy's cause, and I can't help but think that maybe this was red and yellow communicating with each other and ultimately getting that idea of joining teams for this common enemy. I said this once and I'll say it again. I always gravitated towards the color red for my duct tape just because I think it's a cooler color. But I like this team, y'all. I like the ones that fight it, okay? I like the ones that are out there and like, look at me, I want you to see me, I'm fighting you. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's me. I'm on the right team. But anyways, that is just my guess as the difference between red and yellow. And once again, I appreciate the people who talked this out with me in the comment section of the last video. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to give it a like and subscribe to join the Groovy Graveyard. And I will see you in the next one.